Good evening or good morning.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Last time we finished our first course, and we have a virtual tour across Taiwan. Today, we are going to start our course officially. It is very honored to have our lecturer today, who is an owner of a very famous hotel in Penghu, an offshore island in Taiwan. I'm sure that his experiences in this industry will give you a lot of insights into this industry. Now let's welcome Mr. Robert Han to share with us his insights into this market and his experiences in this regard. Let's welcome him. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to have this opportunity to introduce to you my experiences in this industry. As you can see, our topic today is understand market demand and set a target customer base. And through today's introduction, I'm going to give you a brief idea of a few key things you need to know in this experience. First of all, I will talk about my experiences. And then we are going to talk about the planning flow. When we look at the planning flow, we will get to know market trend and market status, and also the market demand. In terms of market demand, we will discuss whether you have analyzed your market previously and whether you know how to do market segmentation. These are things I will share with you. And we will also talk about the analysis of market segmentation. After knowing the status of the market and doing the market segmentation, we will talk about which segments that we need to probe into. After all of these steps, I will show you a case study in Taiwan. Through this case study, you will know how to apply all the steps that I talked about into the real scenario. So first of all, my experience and then the case studies. So this is the outline for today. So I don't see myself as a lecturer. I see myself in the role of sharing personal experiences. In this slide, I will talk about my experiences. For now, I'm the Chief Planning Officer of Laguna Villas and Resorts. In addition to that, I'm also the CEO for Infinite Value International. In that company, I'm focused on patented inventions and product planning. And in this company, we also provide brand licensing. So these are the two focuses of my career. Before that, before I entered the hotel industry, I served in a British company as an executive in the Asian area. My job in that company was for product planning. I also worked in the IC industry as well. As my personal expertise, I specialized in professional management, patented invention, product planning, and business model planning. In terms of business model planning, I also help with the resource integration. When we focus on the hotel industry, actually, I started in that industry since 2017. At that time, I had no experience in this industry, but I know personally, I'm a frequent traveler. So I have a platinum card in terms of staying in 5-star hotels, and I am also a frequent flyer, so I have some personal experiences in terms of the staying in hotel and taking frequent flights. I have stayed in a lot of very famous hotels, including Marriott, and I am their VIP, so I have experiences in these hotels. From 2003 to 2015, I have 5 patented inventions. And when I started to work in an IC company, in just 2 years, I helped that company to have a very top global market share, specifically for hotel industry. In just 2 years, I have made our Villas and Resort Group an iconic hotel in Penghu Islands. In 2 years into our operation, we started to generate profits. And that's when we started to do licensing for this brand, this hotel brand. We also work with other companies from different industries, including those from the dining industry, such as restaurants. We work with these restaurants to promote a Mediterranean lifestyle dining experiences, and that's how we create this trend for the dining industry in Penghu, and to provide exclusive experiences to our customers. So this is a brief introduction of my previous career performance. In terms of value creation, my previous job experience can be expressed through this chart here. This is called a smiling curve. What is a smiling curve? It's a curve used to explain to you the added value. For instance, the creation of product, the branding, are at the top end of this curve. So my previous career focus and my future focus are placed at the top end of this curve, which is the creation of product. In terms of brand development, our Laguna brand is doing quite well currently. And we also have Mediterranean style, which in short means mid style. This is also the brand or a trend that we create. And my focus from the beginning of my career to the future is on brand development. And previously, I also have a patented invention which was adopted by Panasonic. And also in Spain, we were awarded first place by a Spanish magazine in terms of product development. Speaking of marketing, the marketing for Laguna Villas and Resorts has successfully made us an iconic hotel in just 2 years into our operation. And in my previous job, the products that I helped plan and promote are ranked top first place in terms of global market share. So all of this is about how we create values to realize our dreams. So this is a slogan that I use to talk about the value creation and dream realization. So let's move on to the planning flow. In terms of market planning, there are a few considerations. In this slide, you can see a chart. At first, we need to know about the status or the environment of a market that you want to enter to. In terms of the lodging market, we need to know the situation in the lodging market. How many visitors per year? How many competitors are already there in the market? These are the things we need to find out. We need to know the supply in the market. The supply changed every year. We will see a lot of suppliers coming and going. So we have to figure that out. We need to know the market size, meaning how many suppliers are there, how many competitors are there, and who are these competitors? What are they offering to the customers? If I want to enter that market, how am I going to attract customers to the degree that they want to choose me and come to my place? And first of all, it's about the market size. And when you get to know the market size, you need to divide the market into segments, including high spending, mid spending, or low spending market segment. And after that, you need to do self-evaluation and analysis. You get to know what you can do best. For example, your hotel, you have a very great ocean view or have a stretch of beach, and you believe that these are very good advantages, then you can enter the high-end market segments. And if after your self-evaluation, you find that you have an old house and you renovate it, you have your backyard, and you think that it may be appropriate for entering the mid-spending market segment, then you can do that. And you also need to find out your competitors in that segment. So this flowchart is to help you to know the market situation, to evaluate yourself. After that, you can find your goals and find how you can achieve that goal. After you set goals, you need to figure out factors that help you success. These are called the key success factors. With that factors, you will know what strategies you need to set to help you achieve the goals that you set previously. And with these flowcharts, you can gradually, step by step, move toward success. I created this chart and start using this back dating back to 1993. Every time I do my business, every time I plan something, I follow this flowchart. And I think that it is very worth applying. So I want to introduce to you this planning flow. And do you have any questions about this basic planning flow that I just showed you? If there's any questions, you can raise it now.
Hi, good evening or good morning. Have you discussed the key
稍等一下，有
success
位学员有
factors?
问题。稍等一下。
Sorry. Have you discussed the key success factors, please?
Could you repeat that question again?
What are the key success factors?
Okay,
Or have you mentioned it yet?
just a minute. The so-called key success factors are the factors that you find out after you set your goals. After you set your goals, if you decide you want to enter the high-end market segment, and for example, our villas and resorts. Our villas and resorts are positioned in a high-end market. And after I set that goals, I need to think about, can my facilities meet the customers from this high-end segment? I need to make sure that my facilities can meet the demands from these customers. So that's the hardware. In terms of hardware, I need to make sure that these hardwares can meet their demand, because their houses may be very high-end or fancy decorated. And secondly, it's about our staff. Do my staff have that ability to provide services, very thoughtful services to these customers before the customers make their request? Can my staff predict what their requirements are to provide services that exceed the expectation of these customers? So these are my factors for success. And also, at first, when I enter this market, we don't have that high popularity. So we need to find out a differentiated values that can be very attractive to customers. So these are the things that I need to consider when I am looking for my key success factors. Later, I'll explain more about this. For example, how am I going to differentiate my hotel or my product? How I am going to create an atmosphere that meet the customer's demands? And what I can do if I have not enough manpower? Can I work with companies from other industries? If yes, I can provide my experience or my hardware to these companies from different industries, and they can provide me with the manpower that I need. So through cross-industry collaborations, I can move towards success. So these are how I consider what my key success factors are. Okay, does that answer your question?
Oh, thank you very much. Yes, very interesting. Thanks.
So the first stage, to understand the market. How do we do that? How do we understand the trends and the demands in the market? To do that, we need to analyze the market. We need to get the statistics, some data about the market. usually there won't be a very specific statistics or data that you need. You need to gather different sources of data and integrate them into a statistics that you need. For example, in this slide, I get the numbers and data from the Tourism Bureau of Penghu, and then I put them into this chart. This chart tells us the average number of visitors to Penghu per month. And we can see that from October to March is an off-season in terms of tourism for Penghu. And the on-season for Penghu's tourism is from April to July. So we need to find out how many visitors will go there during this period of time. If there is someone that provides this chart already, then you can use it directly. If there is no one providing such a clear chart or statistics for you, then you need to do your collection and do your integration yourselves. This is how you know the status in this market. So in a pie chart, we can see this is provided by Nielsen. This pie chart tells us the high spending, mid spending, and low spending customers, how much they make up in the market. And when we get to know the percentage of the high end and high spending segments, we can convert that percentage into the numbers in terms of the revenues they can bring in. Then take Belize, for example. You need to find out how many visitors per year to your country. You can get that data from your official agency. And there are also visitors who go to Belize by cruise. And that means these visitors will not stay in the hotels in Belize. Then you need to remove that number, cruise visitors from that total visitors off and to get a real number that you need. And after we have the data about the market, we move on to the market supply. This is the pie chart. This is the chart that I use when I am trying to figure out the market supply. This is called a value chain. And let's have a look of this chart. And when we see the horizontal axis, which is the price axis, to the right side means the price is much higher, and to the left side means the price is much lower. And the vertical axis, that's about the value. In terms of value, there are 6 ways to rate the value. For example, the service is one condition, and landscape and features and swimming pool and sunset, and as well as the conspicuous values. So these are the criteria that I use to rate the value that my suppliers can provide. In terms of conspicuous value, that means that a lot of people like to check in on Facebook or IG when they stay in a hotel that they think that it's very fancy, so they want to show it off to their friends. So this is the way that I used to analyze the market supply status. There are a lot of dots on this chart. These are the existing suppliers, competitors in Penghu. A lot of customers will like to choose the dots they can provide the most bang out of their bucks. But still, like this red dot here on the right side, this hotel is considered high-end hotel. Some customers do not want to get more bang from the bucks. What they want are special experiences. So you need to know what suppliers or competitors are providing these things, these experiences to their customers. And so on this right segment here, upper right segment, these are the competitors. They can provide high-end services, special experiences to their customers. And when we see that this can still attract customers, we know that it is not a price-oriented operation. It's that they can provide special experiences. They can provide like private pools or special views. And those who can provide more bang to the bucks, they can provide fairly priced rooms to their customers, but they have limited number of rooms. So after their rooms are all booked, other customers will come to those much more high-end hotels. So you need to know how many rooms these competitors can provide. And for our company, we provide a glass pool. No other hotels in Taiwan provide that glass pools to customers. And I am the only hotel in Taiwan to provide that, so I can price my hotels higher. So you get to know the market supply status. And after that, you can differentiate your own hotel. Like ours, we have the sunset view, we have a stretch of ocean view, we have our rooftop pools, and our hotels is unique in terms of its appearances. With all these advantages, we can focus on customers who want special experiences. So this is a case study that you need to do to get to know your market. After you know the status of the market, you need to know the segments. And for example, in 2014, there were only 1 million visitors to Penghu, which is not a lot of visitors. So with that number, we figure out the percentage of different customer groups. In terms, for example, 2014, the high spending group is about 12.6. And if they have 1 million visitors to Penghu and high spending group make up 12.6, then I can figure out the number of visitors per year in the high spending group. And after I figure that out, I can know the number of rooms demanded by this segment. They need 42,000 rooms per year. And if the average price per room is about 7,000, then I can figure out if I am going into this high spending group and how much revenues, how much output they can bring to me every year. After I convert a number of customers of the high spending groups into revenues, I can move on to the next steps, which is about the positioning of my hotel. For example, back then, when we decided to move into the market, there are about 600 hotels that provide, they can satisfy these high spending groups. And if I divide this number of hotels by the numbers of high-spending customers. Each hotel cannot get a lot of high-spending customers to their hotels. So I divide the number of hotels by the number of customers. That's how I know which market segment is not fully satisfied and how we can move into that market segment. So that's how we get to know which market segment we need to move to. For example, high spending, mid spending, or low spending segment. We judge that by the supply status of the market. After we know that market supply status and decide which group of customers we need to focus on, we start to plan our product or our hotel. After we do the market segmentation, we try to figure out what customers value most. Different customer groups have different focus of demands. Some pay attention a lot to the prices of the rooms. So changes in the room prices will affect their willingness to purchase. And in addition to price, there are also value or fashion. These are the factors that affect the customer's purchasing willingness. From our perspective, when we see these customers, when we see what they value the most, we find that some customers focus more on the experiences of exclusiveness. If your customers are college students who do not pay much attention to the quality of the rooms that they stay in, then you do not need to spend too much effort in that regard. But if your customers are looking for exclusive experiences, then you need to do differently. And another factor is loyalty. So these are the few factors about what customers value most. And after that, you need to figure out how much profit you need to bring in to sustain your operation. Let's take a look at the mid-spending group. In Taiwan, in fact, in a lot of countries, hotel operators focus on this group a lot. This mid-spending group, they focus on getting more bang for their bucks. That means they want to spend a fair price to get the most they can get from hotels, but it's very unlikely. So some customers from this group, they want to have a fair price, and sometimes they also want exclusive experiences. So you need to figure out if you can satisfy customers from this group because they want more from a fair price they spend. That means they have very low loyalty to a hotel. They do not always stay in the same hotel every year they visit a place because they want to find out which hotel can provide them the most for the money they pay. So our experience that to satisfy customers from this group is quite difficult. And because of that, we start to move on to the high spending groups. Because there are always suppliers trying to cater to this group. Many suppliers, they try to satisfy customers from this group, but as there are more new competitors coming into this market, they find it even more difficult to make profits from this group. So if you want to focus on this group, you need to consider very carefully. And then about the high spending groups. High spending groups do not pay so much attention to a price because what they want are experiences. They are used to be served by others. They are used to have high quality services. Every time they stay in a hotel or taking an airplane, they want the best service they can have, but they have very high loyalty. In terms of their airplane passengers, they have VIP cards because they have high loyalty and they stick to the same flyer always. Take me for example. I spent a lot of money taking the same airliners. That's how I have my VIP card. And the same as for hotels. So customers from this group have very high loyalty. So this is how you analyze the characteristics of different customer groups. And with that, you will know what services you need to provide, what hardware you need to provide. And after that, we will get to know changes in these customer groups. 2011 to 2020, we can see that the percentage of different customer groups have changed in these 10 years, as you can see from the pie chart on the slide. So we can see that the high spending market group has in fact become larger. But we can also see a trend in the market, that is, it shows an M-shaped curve. An M-shaped curve means that mid-spending group become smaller and the high-spending group become bigger, as you can see from the pie chart. So we can see the market is moving toward an M-shaped curve. That's the movement in the past 10 years. That means the low spending groups have more customers coming into this group. So does the high spending group. So we can see these changes in the customer group. The same thing happened to the automobile market. We can also see an M-shaped movement in the automobile market. There are more people buying fancy or very expensive cars. So these is how we figure out the market segmentation. And in this slide is another market trend report. It says that in the past, more customers focused on getting more bang for the buck. But now, by 2019, there are less customer focusing on getting more bang for the buck, and more customers looking for special experiences. Because those customers who want to get more bang for their buck, they have, in the past 10 years, they have their incomes increased, and they have more ability to purchase. And when they travel, when they rent a car, if they focus only on getting bang for a buck, but when they see two different brands of automobile from the car rental, one is Mercedes, the other is BMW, the other is Toyota, and they will naturally want to compare the equipment on these rental cars. They want to compare if they have provide high-end equipment on this car. But for customers who focus only on the bang for the buck, if they pay too much attention to the details inside the car, they will miss out the points that actually bigger brand of automobile provide higher safety for drivers. So because of that, less customers focus on getting more they can get from the money they pay. And now an increased number of customers want to get special experiences. As we can see from the pie chart of the previous slide, we can see that trend, the shift of focus among customer groups. Because they will find that if they want to get more from the money they paid, they need to constantly comparing a lot of details. So this is the changes in the market trend. So the previous slide that I shared is about getting to know the market status, getting to know the market segmentation. So for now, do any of you have any questions that you want to raise before I move on to the next slide? Please give us a few minutes because one of the students has a question to raise. The question is that, what tools can we use to analyze the demands of our market, our target market segment? What tools are available? In terms of the tools, the first tool that I will use is to get the statistics and data from the official agency of local tourism agency. So if I get that data, I use Excel to help me turn that statistics into the chart that I need. And the second tool that I will use is for competitor analysis. We can use the x-axis and y-axis to figure out in which segments do my competitors fit in? You can divide a piece of paper into you can divide a chart into 4 segments and find out where your competitors fit in. And also for market segmentation, the slide that I share with you is about the focus of customers from Asians, but this vary from regions, so you need to work out these charts yourselves. Another tool for getting the information you need is through questionnaire or surveys. However, you need to have a big sample size. You need to have a lot of respondents for your questionnaire to make your questionnaire results accurate. In terms of customer behavior, a lot of the ways that we do is to give out questionnaires and collect their opinions to understand their behavior. But if you can get some questionnaire report or survey report that are already there, then you don't need to do it yourself. You can simply search online and see if someone has already that questionnaire survey results available. So we just talked about the process, the steps of getting to know the market situation. Later, I'm going to give you real-life cases to show you how you apply these steps in the real world. And through these case studies, I will also raise some questions to you and for you to answer. Now let's move on. So after we analyze the market, after we know the segmentation, the next step is to set our target market. Of course, to do that, you need to evaluate yourself to be able to set your target market. So I will show you how to evaluate yourself and how to set your goals. When we evaluate ourselves, there is also a basic process. If your hotel is not built yet, then you need to do environmental analysis. For example, on the top left side, this is a stretch of land. There's no building on it. And this is where you want to build your hotel. Then you can analyze and access this land and to think about what you can build, how you can build a hotel that you want here. After you get to know the environment where your hotel is going to be built, then you need to know what you are going to provide to your customers. You need to design your buildings. For example, in Penghu, we have the weather is very hot, so I need to design a pool for customers. But if in Caribbean Sea nations, it is very famous for sea, and you can think about how you can make your pools special. And when you set your target market, you want to get data, not just from your own country, but also from other countries. And that's how you know your international customers focus more about, you will know how they value the most. So after the environmental analysis and the proposal of your building, you can move on to the next step. This is the same process that we followed when we built our Laguna Villas and Resorts. And the next step, we talk about the details of these buildings, what we can do about this building, what limits it may have, what we would want it to look like. These are the things we discuss for this step. Whether it is a newly built building or an existing building, you want to make the most out of these buildings to meet your goals. So we need to ensure that the design of building meet your goals of business. And after that, after the building is built, we need to do the decoration to realize this design blueprint. This process is quite difficult because during the process of the building this hotel, there are a lot of things that are outside of our expertise. So we need to work out, figure out how to solve these difficulties during the construction. And after that, it is about the opening. When you open your hotel, you may have to plan carefully about your manpower, and you need to have very marketing and management process. So this step is not that easy as well. And after you open your hotel, you need to carry out a professional operation and management that meets your business goal. And you need to have a goal and performance oriented operation. That means your operation needs to meet your goal and need to be consistent with your performance. And that's how you can ensure that your management and operation will always help you move toward that goal. And that's how you bring in your profits. A lot of B&B or hotel operators spend a lot of time running their business, but they do not have that profit that they deserve. The reason is that they did not use a goal-oriented or performance-oriented operation. These are the problems that we see a lot in this industry because they have a lot of competitors and they have customers who are very difficult to be satisfied. And if you cannot retain your customers, it will be very difficult for you to maintain your business. So this is the process that we use when we run our hotel. So for our revenue for 2021, and we can see there is an increase of visitors to Penghu. Previously, it was 1 million people. Now it's 1.3 million people. So it means the market size has grown, has increased. In 2014, the revenue from the high spending customer is about $300 million. And now in 2021, the revenues from that segment is about $600 million. So we can see that the revenues from this high spending customer group has increased. But in the meantime, there are more suppliers or competitors as well. From this pie chart here, we can see that there are about 30 hotels that can satisfy the high spending market segment. So it's still not a lot. And each can have about a revenue of about $32.9 million. And we can see the mid-spending customer groups. There are 570 hotels that can satisfy that customer group. And that means from 2014, the hotels for that market segment has also increased. So we can see the competition is quite fierce, quite serious in that market. But in terms of the high spending market, we can see more customers coming to this group, but still relatively few hotels to cater to the need of this group. So our decision at the first place was correct. It's correct for us to focus on the high spending group. We use the data and statistics to help us decide our business goals. So that is about the revenues that different customer groups can bring to you. And in the aim-shaped society, we can either go to the low spending customer groups or to the high spending market group. So our decision is to go to a high spending customer group. We select our target market, set our customer base, and we find our key success factors. So from thus far, these things that I talked about is more academic. It's all about theories. But later I'm going to give you cases to help you understand what I just said, to help you understand how you are going to set your goals and find your market. And so I will raise a lot of questions for you to think about your answer. So let's move on to the case studies. So for this slide, I'm going to give you a few questions. If you are a high spending customer, what you expect from a hotel? Let me repeat this question. If you are a high spending customer, you have very high purchasing power. In addition to just staying in a hotel, what other things do you expect? What are your other expectations? Please share with us your opinions. Would anyone want to share? So if no one would like to share, then I take myself for example. We see a lot of market reports. And after seeing these reports, we realized that we need to find something special for these high spending customers. Take Penghu, for example. People who want to go to Penghu usually take airplane. And that means they need to rent a car to move around Penghu. So we think that if I can provide convertibles to my customers, they will be very attractive to them. To provide convertibles for renting, that will be a very good highlight for our marketing, because no other hotel operators provide convertibles for rental to their customers. That's how we become a attractive to customers. That's the first feature that we find for our hotel. Second, couples coming to Penghu would like a private space, for example, private swimming pool for themselves. They do not want to share pool with other customers. So that is their expectation that they may have. So we decide to provide individual swimming pool or individual spaces to those couples. And we will attract them, and they will check in on their Facebook. And that is also a way to raise the visibility of our hotel. Previously, we talked about a few conditions to rate the values. One is conspicuous consumption. So this is a conspicuous consumption. In Penghu, we have a lot of offshore islands or islets. So customers need to take boat or ferries to move to these islets. So we think about providing quality services in that regard to our customers. So we work with other ferry operators to provide a special experience to our customers. And we also think about if we have any natural landscapes to provide to our customers. For example, in Penghu, you can easily see a lot of stars at night. We will have a very beautiful starry sky, and sometimes there are meteor showers. So these are the features that we can have from the natural landscaping. Food is another important part of staying in a hotel. So we want to provide fine cuisines to customers so that they can also check in on their Facebook to show it off to their friends. In addition to these unique features that we can provide to our customers, we can also add it in. So with all this uniqueness, customers will know what hotel they need to go to if they want special experiences. So you need to think about the customer's expectations and then realize them to meet their expectations. So that's what we do in Laguna. The best way is that we don't need to spend a lot of money in marketing, and the customers still keep coming. And to meet that goal, you need to think about your customers' expectations in different customer groups: high spending, mid spending, and low spending market groups. And you need to know their expectations. So the case here is about high spending customer group. And if you focus on low spending customer group, there are a lot of customers in this group, but they spend relatively less money comparing to the high spending customer group. So you need to think about what you can provide to meet their expectations. For example, you can provide hostels, and you need to think about how many beds you need to put in a room in your hostel. You need to figure out a way to increase your turnover rate. So different customer groups have different expectations. You need to find it out. So this case is about a high spending customer group. And then if you are a high spending customer and you know what you expect, and you search online and find a lot of photos that people share, and you can see that this hotel operator can provide cruise yacht and a convertible and a very beautiful view by the pool or very beautiful ocean view. or the bathroom is right next to the ocean view, or the hotel can allow you to have a sunset view. And these are very special and attractive to you. And these will make your customers want to pay a visit to your hotel. That's how you make your hotel success. So the case that I used is that to give an environment, with special landscaping, and also work with other companies or operators from different industries to provide a dream-like experiences that customers want to have. And the next, in the middle, is the appearance of our hotel. And in other photos around this photo are the amenities or facilities that we can provide to customers. We have, for example, we have a swing by the sea. We have a very big and wide lawn where our customers can have party outdoors to enjoy the sunset. And we can also provide teppanyaki service to customers coming to that party. And so we keep increasing these special features that we can provide to customers every year. We keep expanding our selling points. So that is how we maintain our operation and maintain the profit that we want. We create a vacational atmosphere, a very luxurious and cozy atmosphere to our customers, so they can have fun while staying in our hotel to enjoy their vacation. In 2019, we hired a chef. The chef previously was also in the B&B industry. They provide lodging service as well as cuisine to their customers, but he was overwhelmed by all these works. He was overwhelmed by doing all the things himself. So he decided to come to our hotel to just focus on providing fine cuisines. And he provide different themed dinners from Monday to Friday. He provide different themed dinners. For example, like sunset dinner or French cuisines or seafood cuisine. So every day he provided different themed dinners, like private chef desserts, limited edition desserts, and his lobster dish also won an award in Penghu's Food Festival. So these are very good selling points for us in terms of the cuisines we can provide to customers. And we also have the Mediterranean themed dinner. Like in our hotel for every Monday and Thursday, we provide special dinners, and during a fireworks festival from April to June, because our customers will want to see the fireworks and do not have a lot of time to have dinner, so we provide finger foods for them to have a bite and then go to see the fireworks. And our hotel is not open to other customers not staying in our hotel. That means we can have a very relatively private space and good atmosphere for customers who actually staying in our hotel. We have a barbecue party, teppanyaki party, sunset dinner, and also seafood dinner or Japanese beef dinner. We change our menus every year to keep the customers interested in the cuisines we provide. And we also provide package tours to our customers. We made videos of these tours and put them online for our customers to have a brief look at it and to imagine what they can do and enjoy if they come here and stay here in our hotel. They can go to Forest Lavender, they can go scuba diving, or we can also have our private chef cook for them on boat. They can also have chartered boat to have a cruise around these islands. So these are unique and special services and offers that we can provide to our customers. Because of this, more and more high-spending customers come to stay in our hotel. And now it's a digital era. People use a lot of social media. So instead of doing the marketing all by ourselves, a more persuasive way is for our customers to share their stays in our hotel to other customers. So our goal is to have our customer if they are satisfied with our service, they can share and recommend our hotel to 10 other friends. And if they are not satisfied, they can tell their 100 of their friends about their experiences. That will push us to do better to ensure that these customers will share only good experiences. And we have suites that is very highly priced. And this is what our customers share on their IG. This is our Starry Sky Suites. So they take these photos and post them on their social media to show their friends how they enjoy the sunset or how they enjoy the galaxy, the view of the galaxy in our hotel. Because of the services that we provide, they are willing to share their experiences on their social media. And these pictures also show to their friends that the valuable natural landscape they can enjoy when they come here. And we have 2 convertible beetles for our customers to use. So these will make their friends know that when they come to our hotel, they can try to drive these convertible beetles. So this is also one of our selling points. And we also have customers who come here to propose to their girlfriends to enjoy a sunset in beds in their own room. And some of them do chartered boat and visit uninhabited islands. So the sharing of these pictures will raise the visibility of our hotel and help us do the word of mouth marketing. So we just focus on providing the best possible services, and the customers will share for us. So we don't need to spend too much effort in marketing. The customers will do that on our behalf. That will be easier for us to maintain our customer base. This is a strategy that we can use in this digital and social media era. At first, when we built this hotel here, we didn't realize that this place is beautiful from day to night, and we realized how unique this location is. So when we realized that after staying a while in this place, we started to promote these different selling points like sunset and a dawn and a night view. We let our customers know that if they can come here, they can say wow from day to night. And when they say wow, that means they are willing to share for you. So I just used our case to talk about how to apply the theories that I just said into real world. After you apply these theories, you can see the real result in the real world. And now, do you have any questions that you would like to raise about what I just said?
Question.
Yes.
Is your business considered to be a small hospitality business in Taiwan?
You mean this Laguna?
The size of your operation, yeah.
Okay, just a minute. 英语这边。So in terms of the area size, so in terms of the area size of our hotel, we can still be considered a small hospital in a small hospitality business in Taiwan.
Thanks.
In terms of the area size, what we talk about the area size is the area size of the building. So in Taiwan, if the area size of your building is within 150 pin, it's a unit that we use for measuring the area size. If your area size is within 150 pin, then you can be considered a B&B or in the small hospitality industry. And so for our hotel, it's within 150 pin, so it's considered an B&B.
Okay, so what would be your advice for the accommodation? Sorry.
那个英文的这边还有一个问题，稍等一下。You can continue.
Okay, apologies. What would be your advice? What's for the smaller operations like the Airbnb?
Smaller operation for like those on Airbnb?
Yeah, like this type, maybe.
Okay.
Smaller operations than what you are, what you have. What would you advise in terms of targeting customers and so on?
Okay. And if you're a smaller operator and that do business on Airbnb, and how do you set your customer base? And actually, whether it is from, if you are promoting your business on Airbnb or other platform, that means you have already have your rooms, and instead of building a new ones. So the first thing you need to evaluate is about your location. Is it close to very major tourist attractions, or it is close to MRT stations? And after you get to know the advantages of your location, you need to figure out, are there similar competitors with similar conditions that are already there? And you can take a look at their price list set. And for example, if you do business on Airbnb, but your location is close to the ocean or close to ocean view or natural landscapes like this, you can consider to increase the price of your room. So you need to first of all consider your location. If the conditions of your locations are quite good, you have views, you have landscapes, then even though you have a very limited number of rooms, then you can still think about how you can provide experiences that exceed the offering of five-star hotels. For example, in Caribbean Sea nations, if you have a sea view and you have a room in apartment, you have a place in apartment, but you can provide 3 rooms, and one of the room is a penthouse that is near the rooftop. Then for that rooftop, you can provide an individual in the independent balcony for your customers staying in that attic house. So if you can provide these very special features, you can raise your price even higher than those in the 5-star hotels, maybe 3 times higher than the 5-star hotels. If a 5-star hotel room costs 150 USD, and if you can provide these differentiated features in your rooms, you can sell as high as, for example, if one of your rooms that you can provide comes with a sky pool, mini pool, or an individual balcony, you can do that. You can raise the price to 180 US dollars. And of course, you can also add more values to the cuisines you provided to your customers. Or if you do not provide cuisines, but you have a kitchen for your customers to use, you can also think about how to make them special, how to differentiate the conditions of your B&B. And through that, you can add more values, because a lot of Airbnb operators, they provide rooms in the same place in an apartment, for example. So you can think about how to make these rooms different. Does that answer your question?
Very insightful, very interesting. Thank you very much. 谢谢。
So now we are going to take a 10 minutes break. If you have any questions to raise, you can also leave your questions on our message room. Thank you. Okay, so we can move on now. Let's continue to talk about aftermarket segmentation. What we can do about product planning. Whether you need to build a new building or you already have your apartment or buildings where you can provide rooms to customers, you will still think about how to differentiate yourself from others. We need to do positioning. You need to position yourself to be able to plan your product, how to do market planning. So one way is through innovation. How do we innovate? There are a few ways of innovation. Innovation is not just making things different, but to ensure that these different things that you can provide are valuable in the eye of your customers. You don't just innovate for innovate perspective. You need to provide something new that are meaningful and valuable to your customers. The first innovation is product innovation. Perhaps you can provide new facilities to your customers. In our hotel, we built a new facility that is a swing by the sea, and that's the new facilities that we provide. And we also have customers who just have an entire buildings for us. So for these customers who book the entire building from us, then we can provide a butler or a service person that to provide services exclusively to them. So they have someone there to provide service exclusively. We can also provide system innovation. Usually, B&B are rather smaller in their size, but if you have customers revisit you a lot of time, you can provide some incentives to these revisiting customers. For example, if in 15 months a customer come to your hotel or your B&B for a certain number of time, you can provide them a certain type of incentives that will encourage the customers to recommend your B&B to his or her friends. So another way is that you have to think about what attractions you can provide to customers who have never come to your country or come to your city before. For example, if some customers have never come to Penghu before, and we want to provide them some features to attract them to come to Penghu for the first time. That's the best strategy for marketing, to create demand. The customer may not have the demand at the first place, but we create demand. That's also one of the ways for differentiation. Previously, one of you asked about what are key success factors. Key success factors include how you can make your product attractive and impressive to customers and create demand for them. You can also think about what are the things you can provide to move your customers. If the things that are attractive to you are the things that can attract your customers. For example, if I make my building very colorful, if I paint my buildings colorful, but colorful painted buildings has one drawback, is that the colors may started to fade away a couple of years ago, later. So you need to think about what can really attract your customers. And then let's look at the differentiation of products. Take us, for example, a place with pool and without pool is really different. We know that pools are important to some customers, so we have this pool where a lot of pretty girls wearing bikini take photos at our pools and share the photos on their IG, and that will attract other people on IG to also want to come to experience it. And we make these pictures also unique to attract IG users. And we also use like underwater camera to take photos from underwater. And we use these underwater cameras are not that expensive, but we invest that money on that equipment and to take very unique and special pictures to attract people on social media. That's a very good way to raise our visibility. In addition to a public pool, we also have private pools. Over 50% of our rooms in our villa have their own private pools. And like, for example, like a rooftop glass pool. And these are so unique that your customers will surely take a lot of photos and put them on their social media account to attract even more people to want to try and come to stay. And in addition to this hardware, we also provide a lot of tours or activities to our customers. For example, our customers come and take a photo with our convertible Beetle, and they have their friends, and they successfully booked our convertible Beetle, and so they wear yellow clothes and take a photo with our yellow convertible Beetle, and then drive the convertible to the beach to take photos. These are unique. And we also use a Mediterranean style tour for our customers. So we provide these tours for our customers so they can have a unique experience. This is a new service that we provide to our customers last year. And we work with other ferry or boat charter operators and allowed our customers to take a boat to inhabited islets, and where we also cook for them, and they can enjoy the food and also have diving to see the undersea landscape. We call it a secret place and uninhabited island party. So these are the new services that we offer to our customer. Of course, for the safety of our customers, we must have personnel to be there to provide the rescue when necessary. And also, our customers can enjoy the galaxy view and meteor shower views from our hotel. We take photos for them so that customers can realize that they can actually enjoy all these views without going deep into the mountains. So there will be a very unforgettable experiences for them. So that's about hardware, but hardware has its limit. So we can also work on our software. Here, I mean atmosphere. If I can differentiate our atmosphere, that would be also a very good way to promote our hotel. For example, the swing by the ocean or the sunset view these are very good ways to create a differentiated atmosphere. So these are the things that we use to differentiate ourselves. So here it comes to the end of my sharing. So if any one of you has questions, please raise them now. Here, these pictures are about, we have our customers' kids to try to take the wheel of the boat for them to learn a little bit about how to drive a boat. So this is the end of my presentation today.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. How much does it cost to stay at your hotel? One night? One night, please? In US dollar?
In US dollar, just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
For a double room, there's a basic room type in our hotel. If for double room and with ocean view, it would be $200 US. But if you have the rooftop pool, it will be $450 US during holiday. So our price range between $200 to $450 US.
Okay, so that's considered very high price, very high level, high end, I mean.
Yes, you can say that it's quite high end price. So,
Does anyone else?
yes, one of you would like to know what about a pet-friendly service? Do you provide pet-friendly rooms for your customers? Not in Laguna villas and resorts because of the flooring material. We do not provide pet-friendly rooms to our customers, but in Taiwan, we also have like family-friendly or pet-friendly hotels. They have their advantages, but as well as disadvantages. And I know someone who provide pet-friendly rooms, but there are some difficulties to run hotels like this because like the smell of the urine or the stool from the pet, and that smell is very difficult to remove. So these are the challenges or risks you may face if you want to do that market. So you need to consider if it is something that you can do. So if there are no further questions, we are going to come to the conclusion of this course. Okay, so this is the end of today's class. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.